Hi, I am Lydia Karemi. I'm a counseling psychologist and a marriage and family therapist. Welcome to H Consult Limited, where we offer therapy services ranging from couple therapy, premarital counseling, individual therapy, family therapy, mental health group therapies, workshops, and trainings. We talk, you heal, I don't judge. Visit us at the Spa Mall, Vicar Road. Our offices are on the second floor, room number 18 or S21. We look forward to seeing you. Get our contacts on the screen. See you soon.
Coming up on the Rawder Kidula Show.
Her great-grandfather.
Yes.
Is that okay? And my grandmother knew each other. But how? My grandmother was born in the traditional setup. Her great-grandfather was already in the church. He was an elder. He became her spiritual father.
Oh.
So we actually got into Christianity because of her great-grandfather.
Wow.
Or sex in itself now starts to become a conduit for blessings for the two of you. Yeah. Secondly, it becomes now a weapon of warfare.
Oh.
Yes, because what happens is sex brings the two of you in constant unity.
Yes.
And unity is everything. He has to command a blessing where the two of you are in unity.
I know I wanted a wedding. I know I wanted a white wedding.
Good wedding.
I know I wanted a very good wedding. But the in-betweens of I have to have this and this,
Not
Yeah.
there.
not really.
So what was giving
So
our
for
brothers
yes,
stress?
because hey man, see, she's not been like this for a very long time, away from the medication. So you don't know how will the pain come back, will I actually get a child? And then we agreed we're not going to be trying for children.
This time
we will
trying.
still enjoy our sex
Marriage.
without trying to think,
Without thinking
hey,
this
babe,
one is for
this is
babe.
the one.
Are you ovulating?
Yes.
Are you
Nice.
this today? So we decide to go see a doctor a week later. We do the scan. I'm told I'm 11 weeks. I didn't know.
Actually, the person who made me feel seen in my second day when she was there, because I used to go to work and then sleep in the hospital. So was a doctor, a guy who came.
Actually, the first day.
It was the first day, yeah?
It was the first
So he comes and then he says, "And Daddy, how are you?"
Oh. You cried?
No, no.
This is the Rawder Kidula Show.
Hello, guys, and welcome back. If this is part of your weekly content, what you consume every week, welcome back, and thank you so much for the support. If you are new here, karibu sana, and we are glad that you're part of this community that believes marriage works because it was instituted by God. Now, when we say marriage works, we don't mean it is perfect. We don't mean that we smile every day. We don't mean that every marriage we know is working or worked, but we mean because it was created by God, it was created to work. So that is the basis. Sawa? Okay, my name is Rawder Kidula Show, and someone just hurt my feelings a while back and told me I look good today. And I think it's because of Glam Haven. They did my makeup today. So thank you so much, Glam Haven. The number is on the screen and on the description. If you're looking for someone to glam you up for an event or for your wedding, holla at them. And we also have JK Studios doing all this. By the way, guys who are wedding, I have you sorted. JK Studios will do your wedding, birthday shoots, family shoots, everything that you need as far as videography and photography is concerned. And before we start today's show, just to remind you, we are at H Consult, Lydia Karemi, the therapist place in Spa Mall, Thika Superhighway in Ruiru. And she just told me that she's doing lots of individual therapy. So if you are having issues with balancing your life, balancing your finances, managing your time, finding your purpose, you just need someone to help you organize yourself, reach out to Lydia Karemi. Her number is also on the screen. And you also watched a video of what she does before this show began. So let's get this show started. background story, I still call him Rev Doc. Pastor Doc. Pastor Doc came on the show and he made women very mad. Actually, he's supposed to come back and apologize. And actually, he has nothing to apologize for. There's a video I put of him on Facebook. We are at 1.1 million views. On TikTok, he is trending like nobody's business for telling women to respect their husbands. And women, we have said, respect is earned. Respect is earned. So that is Pastor Doc. He recommended this amazing couple from Ruak, and I was like, if it's Pastor Doc recommending, I'm not even vetting. I'm not. Yeah, we are good. So, yeah, this is how this happened. We have Roger and Sheila with us today.
Thank you for having
And thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for
Thank you for
having us.
having us.
All the way.
All the because you know where.
Because I know where.
Yeah.
All the way. Thank you for coming. And also for coming in good time. Thank you for keeping time. Thank you for being the salt and the light that the world needs to know that marriage is a good thing. And finally, thank you for making Machi Machi this cool. That looks so good. Jemo didn't even know you are Machi Machi.
Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah, so please introduce your wife to us. We start with you.
Lovely.
Yes.
This is my queen. The wife of, is it the youth? Your wife of your youth.
The wife of your
The wife of my youth. She's a healer to many. And I love what Lydia is doing, as well, because they're also in therapy together.
Oh, nice.
So I love the fact that they're healing the nation.
Yes.
She has a beautiful voice. She gives me a lot. She calms my spirit.
Oh.
And she compliments me very heavily. I love how we do ministry with her. I never knew that there was so much power in doing this together in that way, which we will speak of. But this is basically Sheila Wango. Yes.
Wako.
Well,
My name is Wango.
her name is Wango. With a U.
Nice.
With a U.
Sheila Wangu.
Yeah,
But
but it is. Yes, it is.
bado ni wako.
She's obviously mine. Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
What's her personality?
So this is interesting. We were teaching this in the premarital class, heavy class. I don't restrict my woman to a personality. I love the fact, I can tell you we've known each other for now 12 years. And honestly, the lady I met that time and now are two different people. I realized if I confine her to a personality, that's for me. If I confine her to a personality, then I might restrict her growth as a person, who God wants her to be. So I saw her for who God wants her to become rather than the person I met, and I'm really glad to see her consistently growing into that lady.
Wow.
Yeah, so she's indeed the bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh.
Oh,
So I'm
guys.
not.
Was it too for left?
Ati leo, angalia watu tunaona hivi even today and anyway, yes, but but ideally we are not I don't personally, that's what we taught them. I told them to look at the identity of who your
It
woman,
can
of
actually
who God
stagnate
is.
someone.
It can stagnate someone. If I say you're choleric, what if at some point that what was restricting you was trauma?
Oh, yeah.
And now you've healed.
Yes.
Yeah, and now you became so sanguine or something. I don't know. Yeah. So I'll get shocked when you behave a certain way, and I'll be like, well,
You've
Nanny.
changed.
Yeah, as opposed to appreciating the person that she's becoming. So for me, I've never thought of the kind of personality she is.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's a very good way to look at
Yeah.
it.
It's a very good way.
Yeah, male and female, he created them.
Them.
Yeah, so look at hers.
Male and female.
Yes.
Please introduce this gentleman to us. The standards have been set.
Hey, pressure. So this is my husband. He's Rodah Gitonga.
Yes.
The only one in Africa. Google him. You
Yeah.
can Google. What can I say, man?
I don't know.
He's my friend first. I think friendship is important in marriage.
Yes.
But above that, he's a man of God. He loves God very much. He loves his family. He loves his work. He's very kind to people with his words, with his actions. It's very hard to put him in a box because he's so many things to so many people, but I think the thing that stands out most is he is a voice of reason. Even when you don't want to hear it, hataki kujua. He will tell you the truth, but with love. Yeah.
Wow. We are already so curious to know how this happened. How did you meet? No, before that, you told us that she's also a therapist. Where do you practice?
Currently, I have my own practice. I'm still setting up a few things,
Okay.
but I am individually on my own. So
Wow.
Lydia and I, we kind of do the same
The more
thing.
the merrier. People need therapy.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Yeah,
agree,
so
100%.
after this, if you need to see her, you can also inbox me. My number is always here. Yeah, I can refer you to Sheila. Yeah, you see the way she's so, like I would tell you all my secrets.
Yes, I am a keeper of secrets. But maybe before we move on, he's very passionate about his job. He does ACCA. It's an accounting body. Currently, he's the only expert tutor in Africa. And he's very passionate about his job. Yeah, and he's very good at it.
He's very good. Google him at your own cost.
At your own...
Wi-Fi is free.
It's free, kuna bundles. Yeah.
Wow, that is really good to know that even in the kingdom we have people who are doing excellently in the marketplace, right?
Excellence is one of his markers.
That's why you kept time.
Yes.
And guys, I've invited. Okay, I'm not like. Rather stop.
Don't show.
Yes. When we were chatting, I think he gave me details. Many times I have to ask people who want to come to the show, people have approached to come to the show, I have to ask where to go to church, what do you do, what's your wife's name. This guy sent me a paragraph of everything I needed to know. I was like, did you read my mind? Thank you for that. Excellent.
Thank you.
Excellence. Yeah.
So where did you two meet?
I like the way he tells the story because hatoangi. Mi naeza toa details.
Yeah. Oh, he tells it's better.
Much better.
Okay, let's hear from
Anyway,
Roger himself.
So how we met?
Yes.
We had a program in church. This was St. Andrew's PCA at the time. We're Presbyterian originally.
Yes.
But I would say, I don't know, I just love the body of Christ. So I wouldn't say that to talk at church.
Yeah.
We're just building the body. I think denominations have made it look like we split the body, which is unfortunate. While in the essence, we're just growing.
All one body.
Yes.
So we met at Presbyterian St. Andrew's. And there was a program that used to happen every week. So that time I was actually dating, and she was we were sitting in a circle, and she was sitting right opposite me. And my spirit was stirred, but I was not that deep in spiritual matters. So Miss Kwana, like what is happening to me? Yeah. So I was looking at her, I was like, okay. There's something different about this lady, but I didn't understand. So all I wanted at the time was friendship.
Yeah.
So after the thing was done, the program on that day, I went to say hi to her, and I saw this lady do a Cinderella. She ran. She ran, like literally ran down the stairs.
In my defense, I was a very shy girl back then. Like,
yes.
Very, very shy.
You ran away from greetings.
Greetings. You say, hey, hi.
There's a boy talking to me. Why is he talking to me?
So I saw her running away.
How old are we, for context?
We're young. We're young. We
out of high school.
Yes.
Oh, your teens.
We're young. And I see her running away, and I wondered, hey, sir, what is all this?
Yeah.
So I said, you know what, I'll get you next week. Yes, it's a weekly program. So I see her the following week. This time, can't run, but I've mastered her strategy.
Yes.
So I went, spoke to her, but that was just it. Then that relationship ended. This was back in 2013, so the relationship ended in November. A very painful heartbreak for me. And I think at that point, because of that kind of pain, I found myself, and this is the part I like the most about my growth, I found myself seeking for a lot of affirmation from women to help me think, do I still got it? If that makes sense. So my affirmation was very interesting because I wanted nothing from them in terms of I didn't want to meet them. So what I did was I went to, that time Facebook was the in thing. And I went to Facebook, picked up my list of friends, random people. You know, Facebook, you have a random number of people you've never known. And I picked 7 people. And I had a script in my head on how we'll start from inbox to getting their number by the end of the day, to talking by the end of the night, by having a date on Saturday. So I started this on Monday. I had 7 dates on Saturday. Very dangerous.
Wait. 7 dates with different ladies?
Yeah, 7 women, yeah.
7 different people.
Yeah.
They
You
don't
just
know each
want
other.
them to tell you
I think
nice
for me,
things.
that is it. But the pain is very dangerous. Yeah. And if you're not careful, for me, I didn't realize that until when I was preparing for the dates. The idea was we'd meet in one mall, like where you are now.
Yeah.
And, the idea was to have, like, let's say 2 or 3 restaurants. So I meet one from 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 10 to 11, full day. Yeah.
And they didn't know each other?
No. See, it's random people you've picked who looked nice. So at this point, I was really hurting. And at this point, I found myself, when I was preparing, I looked at myself in the mirror and I was slapped by a voice of reasoning. I think God really just made me realize I saw a dark side of me, a very ugly side of me. And at that point, I cancelled all of them. I met none. I was insulted by all, which is fine. They had every reason to.
Yeah.
And at that point, that was where my journey now from healing started. Now, healing meant I was so confused at how to do this thing. So I found myself now not talking to her as much. But she would keep on checking up on me.
But she was not part of the...
No. This lady, remember, she's special. The way I saw her that day, for me, she had been put in her own space. But I thought this is just a friend that I'll have for a very long time. So at this point, she would try and reach out. I would not reply. She would try to send me credit because she thought maybe and I only realized this later.
I told him much later.
Yeah, because there's a way you could send credit, but you don't know who is sending it to you. So I'd find her 50, I'm like, hey, Safaricom loves me today, Yeah, but there's no one to talk to. She was my better option.
Best option.
The best option. And at that point, in that hurting process, I remember after ghosting her and all, I started getting into, and this is where now I like this therapy bit.
Yeah.
I was starting to get into a very interesting space. So I was in church, actually, weirdly. I was with my friends who were sitting down, and I was hit by this thing. I don't even understand what it was. Something hit my face. I couldn't see what it was. And immediately after that, I got into multiple migraines. I couldn't sleep. I was getting insomnia, I had bone pains, etc. A lot of things were happening. So I Googled the symptoms. I was told it's a brain tumor. I came to terms to death. So I knew I was dying.
Yeah.
I told my mom, by the way, prepare yourself. We're going to hospital. I need this doctor to confirm my death. So we went to a local AR clinic. And when I went there, I entered, and I always bless this doctor. I don't even know who she is, but I think she's an angel because she was all bubbly. And the problem with people who are sad or depressed, they want everyone to be like them.
Yes.
So I was like, what's wrong with this woman? Why is she so happy? Why are you happy with life? And then she asks me, so how are you doing today? I'm like, this is such a dumb question.
Yeah.
I am here because I'm not okay.
Yes.
Of course, you're getting agitated. And I told her, I'm not okay. And then she told me, so what's the problem? I told her, I have brain tumor. And I want you to diagnose this thing now. Go tell my mother I'm dying. And then to endelea na life. And at that point, she did some very simple tests. Check my eyes, check my mouth. You did what? And then she told me, my friend, she sat up and she told me, who are you before all this? So I told her I used to be so bubbly, I used to be all this. And then she told me, who are you now? And I described someone very dark. I want to be alone. I want to be this. I'm always sad. I'm always pretending. So she looked at me and she said, you're about to get into depression. Now for me, that threw me away because I said, madare. So I'm going to start picking things. So I'm going to start what? And I'm coming to how we build up. So at this point, I told her, okay, fine, give me medication for my, these things I have, my migraines, my insomnia. She told me that the solution is within you. I was like, what does that even mean? So I said, okay, okay, that's good. Yeah, it's good. You're very philosophical. You do this. Give me my medication. I leave. She said, no. The solution is within yourself.
Oh.
So I come out, my mom is there, she's waiting. Like, so? I'm like, I'm about to get into depression. And I can imagine now later, for a parent, you might think you have failed. Yeah? So I think she was trying to figure out how to parent such a situation. And therefore, for me, that was also agitating me more. Because at that point, I'm like, love me a lot, do what? But for her, she's also trying to process this. So at this point, I go home, and I Google for how do you find inner peace. Yes.
Google
So I started,
has been your
Google
friend.
it was a dangerous friend. So Google gives me random answers. I don't know, yoga, meditation, all those things.
Oh, yeah.
I try them, I fail. And then, you see, I had gotten saved some years back, but me and God at some point, and I was very serious with him when I had started.
Yeah.
So at this point, he tells me, but you forgot me. And I remember breaking down, and I said, God, you know what? I'm so sorry you became my last option. So right now, I don't want to date. And this is where the blessing of singlehood comes in, where you start to find yourself really, really aligning yourself to him. And I searched for him for so long. And I remember at that point when things were so bad, I stumbled on Isaiah 9, and I see there one of the names, Wonderful Counselor, and I said, that is my counselor now, because I didn't know where to find a counselor or a therapist. And at the point, yes. And I found myself walking, and then I found another verse that you've not been given a spirit of timidity or fear, but a spirit of love, power, and of sound mind. And I said, what is all this? I don't have sound mind. So I started now walking into those realities, meditating into those realities. And eventually, my deliverance comes through a dream, very dramatic one, but I want my wife to speak eventually, so I don't want to give that story. And I get delivered in a dream. And this thing lifts off when I wake up. A few months later, we start talking. So we've been talking, but not as heavily, not consistently. She's been sharing now. She was dating at the time. She's sharing with me about how things are, how things are tough. And now that's where me being her therapist comes in. Very dangerous. So at this point, as time, I was being a friend. There was no intentions of anything. I actually used to support her to stay. But I realized this.
Imagine.
But the man used to think I was a threat, which I understand why. Of course, now you can see. Yes. But truly, there were no intentions. And in the month of January 2016, she had already broken up with a guy. We meet up. We start talking. So the weird thing is, we never really went for a date. So we'd always meet randomly in some places and then just walk together and talk for hours as we are walking. Actually that time we built legs, because we're just walking, as we talk. And at this point, I sense that there's something that we're about to get into dating, but I didn't want to make the mistake I made before. Because I realized for me, I was very keen on intentional dating and I had not consulted God before. So I spent a lot of time in prayer, exactly 7 months, asking for very clear signs. So some signs would be, my mom would be sitting down and should have seen her in church and said, there's this girl I saw in church. That girl, I feel like she's my daughter. I'm like, you don't know, man. I've been praying about this one. So things started to happen. And the last test I remember doing for her, we're walking and I said, I'm going to tell this lady everything of my past that I'm ashamed of. Yes. And if I see her reaction is that of, then fine. And I realized how she handled it with grace. She's like, that's really nice. I'm so glad you have grown. That is your past. And I was like, wow. And I said, now I can be free in this relationship. Yes, I can grow to be who I'm meant to be in Christ in this relationship. Because no one is going to remind me of my past or who you are or dwell on your past wrongs. Exactly. So at this point, we started dating on August 15th, 2016. And at that point, I asked her, can you be mine? Because I wanted her to know she's not going to be my girlfriend. She's going to be my wife to be. I told her, please note, we're not breaking up again. This is our premarital. So no matter how long it takes,
you just know you're getting married.
You're my option A to Z. Yes, you're my option A to Z. We're not breaking up. We're going to learn, set foundations, because I'm not ready to learn someone else's color. hobby. Yeah, I'm not ready for that. At where to take you, no. So that point is where we established that, and we started growing. And there's a story afterwards from there, but that's how we actually started dating.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you feel the same way?
Initially?
Yeah.
No, he was a friend. Remember, he was a friend.
Yes.
Even when I was running away, actually it's because I was shy, not because of anything else. But later on when we started talking, because that program would be in church and now we'd walk to stage. So every Wednesday, because it was being run on a Wednesday, we would find ourselves walking together. So he would escort me to stage, and now we are just talking stories. So we formed this, that was my first friendship with an opposite gender that was pure, no intentions, no, sikuwa nafikiria kumdate. Remember, also at that time he's dating. So when he started suddenly not talking to me, I thought, at the time people were relocating. So I thought, ameenda.
He has relocated
because suddenly communication has been cut. Now text, a reply,
am I texting airtime?
Sasa hata hiyo kusend, I think ni Mungu tu alikuwa ananiguza nimtumie airtime. Send him credit, thinking maybe hana credit. But at some point, of course, now I stopped sending credit. We stopped talking. So I thought he's relocated. So when we started talking again, 2015. In 2015, I was dating. Properly. I was dating someone else. So I thought, my friend has come back. So what's been happening with you? And then now we'd also meet in church. So when I was in that relationship, at some point it started having challenges. So I would confide in my friend. Not even my mom. Or my cousin,
your friend.
My friend. And he would encourage me a lot in that relationship. But now it got to a point where I saw both of us have different goals, and I broke off the relationship. And I said, let me just give myself a break. If God wants me to stay single and find myself, sawa. This break did not last long. It lasted those 7 months. Because now when we started talking now properly in January 2016, now I updated him. I told him we broke up. I think we had broken up in December of the year before. But now, you know how December holidays can get. So we started talking again in January 2016.
Yeah.
And then now the more we are talking, the more now I'm starting to say I may like this guy. Now is when I'm seeing the feelings, not then.
Yeah.
But now I'm waiting for him to make the first move.
Oh yes.
I'm a baby girl. I'm waiting for the guy to pursue me. And pursue me he did. So even when he was telling me all these things, in my mind I was like, wow, that's, if we date, like if this thing moves forward, I know what I'm getting myself into and I'm ready. I think it's very important and this is something we tell couples all the time, let your partner know your past, not from a place of pain, but from a place of now you're healing. This is who I was. It's important for you to know who I was. So that now sometimes your past can creep in somewhere in the relationship. You also know how to help them to be better. That is the purpose of telling the past. Not so that you pin them down, not so that you keep on hurting them or keep on telling them unajua ulikuwa. It's so that they can help you move forward. So when he proposed to be his girlfriend,
be his.
Yes, to be, So that day was a very interesting day because we had come from church. We were doing VBS in church. I was a facilitator. I thought he's upset with me. And it was kind of my fault because the class dragged on. And he was getting upset because he had mentioned he wants us to go somewhere. So I thought it's one of these random dates, random walks at the time. So I was dressed very comfortably. So I'm seeing us getting into a matatu. Like, okay, now he's not even talking to me. He's upset.
I had my sister.
And now he had his sister. So we are going to drop off his sister at home. And then as we go our way. And now in the matatu, he's not even talking. He's not even looking at me. So I thought, if I had any chances, out of the window. So eventually we dropped his sister home, and when now we were walking to, all this happened when we were walking. He now starts telling me, now I've been seeking God, and now I want you to be mine.
Actually sat you down.
I sat down. We sat down so that I don't fall. Then now he started telling me all this. Then in my mind, I'm like, okay, where are we heading? What's happening? I'm trying to piece things together. So when he said, I want you to be mine, and we are not breaking up. So first of all, kick that thought out of your mind. Whatever happens, however long we will stay. Because at the time I was still in college, university, and he had already started working. So we didn't put a definitive period of our dating, but I knew for sure from day one, we are not breaking up. Would rather not do whatever. If there's no thing that even I need a break, we're not breaking up. We're in this for the long haul. And that is how we began.
Why did you say yes?
He was my friend. Friendship was, I think, very important to me. And I don't know, I'd also been praying on the side. I'd been asking God, now God, I've just come out from a relationship. Personally, I wasn't that old to say, no, I don't have time. Sometimes women, we pressure ourselves with the time factor. I wasn't that old, but I wasn't that young also. But I'd told myself the next relationship I'm getting into, I would want it to be for marriage. So when I started seeing all these qualities with him and knowing the background of our friendship, I was like, why not? This is something different. Let me say yes. And here we are.
Let me also give context on something about the oneness. I know a lot of people ask, where do you find your one?
Is there the one?
Yeah, is there the one?
Is there the one, and if I miss out on this one, I'm done.
But I have, there's a story, I don't know if we'll tell this story, but there's a story where I remember I was telling her, for me, how one can, appreciate that. One, I like the fact that she knows I pursued her because it's Adam who spoke first. He declared before. So it's not this idea, but if a woman pursued me, I would run. Yes. Hey, there's someone who tried. Hey, ran. I was like, what are you doing? What's all this?
It's not natural.
It was for me. And one of the things I like about it is in Hebrews 6, it speaks about, or 12, in Hebrews 12, it speaks about God being the father of spirits. And you find here, if you two as spirits aligned, what happens is the father then brings his children together. So a lot of us realize it's not necessarily you. That it's him who now says, I want these two to be one spirit. All right. So the father of spirits understands that these two spirits need to be one spirit, and he knows why. So many times for us, even for me, when I saw her that way, it's as if I was sleeping like Adam. There were a lot of other animals I had named, but they were never a girlfriend or if that makes sense. And I'm not bringing up. I know. It became a problem, but basically just in line with Genesis. And one of the things I really appreciate about that alignment is being able as individuals to build your relationship intentionally with God. I know a lot of people know of God, but they don't know God. Because if you know God, two things must happen. One, both of you should be strengthened and you should do great exploits. So if I want to do a litmus test of the fact that this person knows God, there are signs that should follow. So I realized, or we realized something interesting, but we're going ahead here. Just to show you the alignment. When we got married, her grandfather looked at my grandmother during our traditional wedding, before the actual white wedding. And he sees her and says, this person looks familiar. So he approaches her. But you see, during those traditional weddings, in-laws are very interesting. Like especially the older ones. Like, why are you coming to talk to me? And especially in this way, So my grandmother did what she would normally do. She just said, okay, that's good. Bye. Now, eventually, a year later, or thereabout, is this a year later? A few months later, actually, after we've gotten married, I take my mother out together with my sister and my wife. So we're all together in some local place here. And as we're speaking, my wife is talking to my mom. And my mom, I don't know why, asks her, by the way, where do you come from?
Where do you actually come from?
Like, where's the root? So at this point, as she finds out where she really comes from, one of the things that happens that is very interesting is my wife describes a place. Now, where she describes is a place where everyone knows everyone. Those villages where you're like, here.
But even the children's children know the children's of...
And we also originally come. My grandmother comes from there. Yes, my great-grandfather actually came from there. So now we are worried.
Yes, your
because
relatives.
we're thinking, are we cousins?
Yeah.
But we've done everything. Because we got into marriage virgins, which is another story.
That's another story.
Yes, but now we're thinking, wow, but we've already done everything.
Yeah.
We've become one. Now we've become one. Because now so there was a bit of a concern. So my mom calls my grandmother after in the evening and says, by the way, hey, there's this story. etc. I was speaking to Sheila. So tell me, do you think there's a connection?
Yes.
So she asks, by the way, what is her grandfather's name first? So my mom says, I think, I don't remember that part very well, but she got to find out the grandfather's name. And she said, oh my goodness, her great grandfather, and I'll say this slowly, her great grandfather,
Yes.
is that okay? And my grandmother knew each other. But how? My grandmother was born in the traditional setup. Her great-grandfather was already in the church. He was an elder. He became her spiritual father.
Oh.
So her great-grandfather was my grandmother's spiritual father then. So we actually got into Christianity because of her great-grandfather.
Wow.
Yes.
Because they were
but
the
this is
elders
what?
in the church.
Back in the 1940s. Imagine. And now you guys are, so when you see genealogies in the Bible, it's not a joke.
Now is when you see the
Now
You appreciate
you see the
what-
impact now.
You shouldn't
Yes.
skip through. There is actually an
Wow.
important.
And that's what I was saying, the father of spirits.
Yes,
He understands.
knows.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't even remember where we were, but
How we met.
together, she has
How we
said
met.
yes.
Yes.
What would you do better in dating?
Honestly, nothing.
Oh,
It's an
where did
interesting
you
answer.
score? Where do you think this one we scored? We did really well.
The intentionality of it. Because our dates were interesting categories. So there was a monthly date. We celebrated our monthversary for 2 years.
Allah.
Would intentionally meet on date 15 of every month.
To celebrate.
Or around
something,
there if
or
it was a
around
weekend.
there if it was a weekend to
Yeah.
celebrate. So sometimes it would be the movies, it would be a lunch date. But what I loved most is would go to Karura a lot during the weekday to prayer walk or walk and pray and talk and have a small picnic. That is the part I looked forward to a lot.
Wow.
We had
That's
prayer dates.
powerful.
We had prayer dates, a lot of them.
How did you stop yourselves from having sex?
So, yes. So, it's interesting. Our stories are different here and how we found out we were even, virgins together.
Yeah.
Mine started at the age of 10 when my mom gifted me a Bible, a children's Bible. This is why it's so important to train your child in the way.
Of the Lord,
because, because you'll find, weirdly, that Bible at the beginning, it had 10 commandments for kids. So it's not the Exodus 20 commandments we know. So the 10th commandment was do not have sex before marriage. Yes. So me as a child, 10 years, I say, hey God,
Yes.
me, this one, I don't know it has touched me, but let me not have sex before marriage. Now, it doesn't mean we didn't have Joseph moments.
Oh.
And where you're running.
You flee.
Yes, fleeing, actually. Yes. And with her, one of the things, and I would say this is a preservation we had, was because of those prayer dates, because we knew what we wanted, and we also wanted God to bless the union, there was a requirement to walk by the Spirit. Now, we don't want to play around and say it was easy. Because there are times when you would actually, want to indulge, But I remember telling her, if we have sex, and this is just for us, I know that people who might have already, but for us it was, if we want God to bless this thing all the way, may we remain pure. We want to see God. So blessed are the pure, and they will see. So we want to see God in our marriage, in our relationship. So He must remain pure. And what I like about God is He helps you. He sees a submitted heart, and He helps you through that. So there are times, the more you spend time with Him, the more you stop gratifying the desires of the flesh. I mean, Galatians 5 speaks about it very clearly. So the more I'd find us spending together time in the Word, because we do Bible study together, would pray together, would pray for our futures together. Actually, the life we're living now is a prayer that we made many years back. You see, so we're walking in our prayer answers, if that makes sense. And therefore, you sit down and you see how God has been faithful. Truly, He has. If you're not joking with Him, He will not joke with you. Yes. True. So for me, that's how I saw preservation. We were excited for honeymoon. We were excited for honeymoon because there's no one to compare to. Even your sex life, there's no one to compare. This is your first.
Now there are people who think that is now you need someone to compare to.
No. Because sex is gift.
Sorry. It's, when comparison is a thief of joy.
Oh, yes.
I like that,
So if you constantly compare your current partner to your previous, what are you doing to your relationship? You're not helping it. And then this other person will constantly feel, I don't match up to.
Oh, yes.
Or I don't. So it's not really helping you.
I really liked how, for me, sex, the people talk about soul ties or soulmates. The reality is that if done wrong, then unfortunately you do inherit the curses that come with it. But we never see the other side. That there's also blessing when done the right way, in the right covenant. So that time now, God now ensures any kind of, that's why we never have curses in marriage in that way. Because if done in the right way, under the right covenant, He then allows the blessings to continue from the two of you. So now marriage or sex in itself now starts to become a conduit for blessings for the two of you. Secondly, it becomes now a weapon of warfare. Yes, because what happens is sex brings the two of you in constant unity. And unity is everything. He has to command a blessing where the two of you are in unity. He must. So every single time you are coming with your wife, a blessing is being commanded. Every single time.
Have sex in marriage.
You have to, exactly.
It's important.
You know that people go for conferences to be reminded
to have sex. It's true. It's true. So it really, for us, we enjoyed. I remember even our first time. It was very. We didn't even think it was the first night. We didn't think it would happen.
Wedding night.
Yes, because we were tired.
But you were tired. Wedding, the planning, all the.
Then it just comes.
So you don't even, honestly, our minds were not even there.
But it happened.
Yep.
It was very enjoyable and we were shocked. We're like, so this thing of stamina is God's given. It's not practice. This thing is God given, because there are guys who need practice.
You don't
God
need
really
practice.
Enhances your strength. I mean, if you can make Elijah run that fast, how much more in bed?
Okay.
So people, I mean, let's stop playing around with God's wisdom.
He knows what He's doing.
He does.
First year of marriage, how was it adjusting?
I wouldn't call it adjusting per se. It was, I think we were very excited because now we are living together.
Yes.
We had not lived together before, by the way. That was the first time we've moved in together. Now it's the two of us. So it was quite interesting. But at the same time, he made an interesting decision of doing his master's.
In the first year?
In the first year of marriage.
He was
doing his MBA, but online. So it was interesting in a way that we still had time for each other and he still had to study and pass and be excellent, because remember, excellence. So for us it was just adjusting to living together and being around each other's space. I wouldn't say it was a hard time per se, but it needed some getting used to. Luckily we didn't have, the way people argue about, do you squeeze the toothpaste from the top, others from he squeezes from the bottom. I was very happy. I was very happy. Not that it was a deal breaker for me, but
it's a big deal.
It was a big deal. And he keeps his space tidy. So
and the toilet seat.
The toilet seat is, you push down because now you don't feel cold. So it wasn't.
It wasn't a big deal.
No, it wasn't.
Actually, our part was not the first year. And this is why we work a lot with couples for weddings. Yes, that was hard.
What was hard about it?
It was hard because so let me give Genesis something. I was raised by a single mom. So I remember her mom, actually something I love about her mom is in our second month, now I have to go back. In our third month of dating, the mom tells her, I want to meet the two of you.
Wow.
So I'm excited because I've always wanted you see, we're preparing for marriage, no matter how long it will take. Yeah, so we don't want to hide. So I'm excited. I'm like, finally. And I liked her openness. She wants to meet. My mom, on the other hand, was a bit shaky. Because she was just like, hey, how are you guys meeting? Are you planning to get married at this young age?
Yeah.
You've only known her for 3, So I could imagine her fear. So I told her, no, she just wants to know who this person is.
Yeah.
So I remember we sat down, and the mom was, after we ate, we went to town, and we were eating, and the mom asks me, after we finished eating, she asks us, we're sitting right opposite her, and she asked us, what is this?
Yeah.
She actually did this.
Yes.
It's just her mom.
Her mom,
Yeah,
just her mom. No.
Oh, okay.
And I was so overjoyed, because I already knew what I wanted.
Yeah.
So I explained to her what this is. Yes. And after that, we connected so well. There's a time we went for an ice cream date with the mom without her knowing. Yeah, like I'd meet her in town, like, let's go for. Yeah, so we're very open. And that friendship has really helped. So there's something to date. So the mom asked me something as we were going through, just before our marriage, our wedding. She asked me, so how do you think do you think marriage is going to be for you? Because you've never seen something like that.
Oh, yes.
And then I told her, I'm so glad I haven't, for me, because I have a clean slate.
Oh, yeah.
So I can actually write down what God has ordained for marriage to be. So because I've been meditating on that word, I now understand his pattern for marriage. So it's not what I have seen. I'm not saying that's wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, for me, it was truly not a confirmation to the patterns of the world. I was literally being transformed by the renewing of my mind. So I was seeing, this is what God, this is how man should be, this is how, that kind of a thing.
Yeah. So, who feels it.
So now you start working on that, on yourself. And that's what I was working on a lot during my singlehood. I needed to heal, I needed to know him, I needed to know that love that he has for me. It was easy for me to love self and love my wife. The first neighbor you love is your person. So marriage for me is an amplifier of your character. So when people say marriage works, I think it first works on you.
On me.
Yes. It's not that marriage works first.
Yes.
Or it's work. People say marriage is work. It first works on you.
On me.
The work is on you first.
Yes.
Because there are things it will show you about yourself. If you're an angry person, you will see it there heavily. It amplifies.
Yes.
So getting back to this, the pre-wedding. The pre-wedding was not easy because one, you're young, of course, but secondly, and this I think I speak a lot for men, for me. We've never visualized a wedding for us. We don't visualize weddings.
As a man?
Yes, as a man. Like we don't know
the
decor.
No.
As a man. Like we don't visualize
men,
the
they don't
decor.
think
As we
what they
visualize
wear.
in grade 1.
Exactly. You see, for me, I didn't visualize that. So as my wife is dreaming, I'm thinking finances.
I dreamt.
I'm just like, what is wrong with this lady? Calm down.
Can't you see the costume?
Yeah, this thing is heavy. We need 6 months.
What exaggerated thing did you want?
No, she didn't.
It
Exactly.
wasn't exaggerated.
Funny enough about me also, as much as ladies we dream,
Yeah.
I really didn't dream as much. I didn't.
You didn't dream big.
No, I didn't dream at all. I can't say I had. I wrote in my diary somewhere, this is on my wedding.
Fly in with a
No,
chopper.
no. I know I wanted a wedding. I know I wanted a white
A
wedding.
good wedding.
I know I wanted a very good wedding. But the in-betweens of I have to have this and this,
Not there.
not really.
So what was given?
So for me, because man, you see, you have to realize people don't know how much pressure falls on the man cost-wise. It's not just the wedding. We have events before that.
Oh, there's the
traditional. So there's always some money being given. So at some point you realize, for me, it was. And here you are, you also find, for bachelors, your houses are not furnished.
Yes.
So now you're furnishing.
Yes.
So there are also other costs you don't consider that the man is thinking of as well. You're also thinking of rent the next 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. So, and then for me, I wanted to spend a lot on our honeymoon. Not on that's the one for us.
Yeah.
So initially, mine was, I told her, we're also going to do a small wedding. So how many? 50. I'm like, fantastic. We're doing 50 people.
Yes.
But 50 people it could help because we married in 2021. So COVID was still around.
There were still restrictions.
Yeah. But it was after that, we started finding it increasing to 150. So we wrote down the list of 150. It was all our family and none of our friends. Because our families are big, especially her side. So at this point, we are sitting down and we are thinking, what happens now? We sit down and we say, okay, fine. Let's hold on to this 150. So we planned the wedding. So something that really changed my life was in the planning of the wedding, there's a man who we're in the same premarital class with. And I called him. He had just done his wedding a few months before ours. And I wanted to ask him how the experience was.
Yeah.
Speaking to that man changed my life. We spoke for 3 hours and he never knew how much healing he was giving me. Because at that point, I'm talking to him and I'm saying, hey, so how was it? And you see, I was doing better than him financially.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if this guy was not stressed, who am I? He was a volunteer somewhere for a Christian organization. So I'm thinking, why am I getting stressed?
Yeah.
He's like, this thing went so well. etc. You know, Jesus, the first miracle he performed was in a wedding. So God is a God of weddings.
Yes.
So I said, yes. Now I started really getting very encouraged by this. So after that, I started letting go. And I said, you dream on. So we would go to places and I'd let her choose, get excited. And I'd be like, okay, I was a negotiator.
Yeah.
So there was a time now in November, just before November, we had a few issues on my end. One, we are saying our wedding is on Wednesday.
Yes.
Secondly, we are saying our wedding is not in Nairobi. We are saying our wedding is going to be in Kirinyaga County.
Yes.
So people are thinking, why are you taking it so far?
Yeah.
But I asked my wife, what's the one thing, if I don't do everything, what's the one thing you would, yes.
Yeah.
She told me, pick me up from my parents' home, not the place they rent, but where they have a house. So I said, that means you're going to Kirinyaga. So I said, fine, if that's all, I mean, we can maneuver.
Yeah.
But I had very close family that were not too happy about it. And I remember one day there was a time I was in one of the houses and we were having a mini kesha in the house. We're listening on the screen. It was something was happening in there. But there was so much tension because people are not happy with what you're doing.
Wait, you as the man,
yes,
you are going to her place in Kirinyaga?
No, yes.
To do your wedding there from their church?
Yes.
Oh, that's what made people not happy.
No, it was... So let me just say, I also tried to understand it initially.
Yeah.
But you remember there's alignment in the spirit. So sometimes the people who start fighting you are not your enemies.
Yes.
But you need to really recognize when they're fighting you, understand the war, not the one being used, not the soldier. So many times we focus on the soldier, even in marriage. Yeah, this is not your enemy. So even though you have a disagreement, fight the problem, not the person.
Yes.
You know, so at this point, I always try to understand what was the actual. I'd always ask, what's the problem?
Yes.
Like, tell me, what's the issue? And I'm not getting a clear answer. It's like, why have you taken it so far? Why is it on Wednesday? Won't you be working? So, yeah, such things. So I said, okay. But I said, but it's December. You can take leave. Yeah.
And it's towards Christmas.
Yeah.
Things
but it was okay. So one day when this mini kesha, and this is where now God turned everything for me. It was very hard on that night. We were all in the same house. She was not there though. Yeah, I'm with my family now, my family members. And no one can leave because it's usiku. Yeah. So we all go to our respective rooms. I can sense the tension. I remember that night, we don't cry a lot as men, but that night I cried. And I told God, but God, why am I facing so much opposition?
Yeah.
And you're the one who led me to this one, this beautiful one. Yeah. Why is all this happening?
Yeah.
Then I changed my questions and I said, okay, God, I'll stop asking you why. What I want you is to guide me through this fire. So at this point, I get this verse by vision, and I see Romans 8, and I'm told he intercedes for us in mournless groanings and in our weakness. And I didn't understand it then. So then morning of, it's a Sunday now, the morning of, we're still together, and we're now doing online, it was church. Online church, yes, and it was Sitam online. And it was live that time. They never used to pre-record.
Yeah.
So over there, and I'm trying to pray about the issue, but God is refusing. So every time I'd open my mouth to speak about the issue, my tongues would change. And then I would interpret them.
Yeah.
And every time, and that had never happened to me. So every time I would interpret the tongues, it was holy, holy, holy Lord. And I'm like, why am I praising you?
Yeah.
And not from a bad place, but I'm just like, I want to tell you of this issue. I'm lamenting. But God refused. He refused anything. He refused me to speak of anything concerning that issue.
Yeah.
And he allowed me to praise, and praise is a weapon.
Yeah.
And I started finding myself praising him. I would interpret tongues, and that's what was happening. So at this point, the man who is now leading, he's now praying their service. He was praying before they started the service. I've never seen this happen in Sitam for me.
Yeah.
But the guy stops and he says, wait. So he's praying, he's like, wait, I can see a young man. And then he describes my situation. And then he says, don't worry, the Lord has won this one for you.
Wow.
But remember, everyone who was fighting me is in that room. So they opened their eyes
He looked at you.
and looked at me.
Did you text?
Yes. And they said, that's when those issues, they died immediately. So eventually I'm thinking, things are good now.
Yeah.
November, a month
When
to
is
the
the
exam.
wedding?
December. Yes. So November, we've set everything, our committee very helpful. And then we are
We
told,
paid some deposits.
we've done deposits. Then we are told, I'm summoned, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
And I'm told, let's meet in town. Nice is my uncle. I love that man. So he sits me down and he tells me, you have to change the venue. And I said, where? What do you mean?
Really?
But we've already paid.
Yeah.
And this is
For
the
the-
reception venue.
Yeah, it was a reception. Yeah, it was a reception venue. So you have to change it. No, he said you can't restrict the numbers.
Oh.
So you have to change, because the venue we had paid for was a hall for 150 people. So changing the venue, now I told him, so what solution do you have? Because I told him, he's a senior somewhere. So I told him, because people report to you.
Yes.
If they brought problems to you,
Yes.
do you want them to bring those problems without solutions? He said, no. I said, then.
Yeah.
And he laughs, he tells me, you may don't know what you'll do, but you just...
Change.
But God is good. He had given us plan A and B. So we went to pay in plan B. So I tell my wife, hey, now we need to change our venue. And because it's not a hall, we need to look for tents.
Yes.
And deco needs to be done for those tents. So things we had not considered, even food and all that, because the other one was in a hotel. So we changed. We have to travel there. Remember, we're going to Kirinyaga for this thing. So it's always a journey.
Yes.
Yeah, because we're all in Nairobi. So we go to Kirinyaga, and when we went to that place, we said, okay, fine. We went to talk to the previous guys. We told them, we can't get a refund. So what you're going to do, it's a nice hotel. Let's sleep here for our first honeymoon night.
Oh, yeah.
Transfer it there. They said, that's fine. It was almost the same amount with some change. So I got the balance. Then the second one, where we had now moved to, after in the planning stage still of, saying, okay, we've agreed to this, let's pay a deposit. We paid the deposit. Our deposit was returned by the owner of that other hotel and said, I want to bless this couple.
Wow.
And told us anything you guys need,
Yeah.
anything that was not even part of the package,
Yeah.
we were given for free.
For free.
Wow.
So it was a blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but our wedding had more than almost 700 people.
No.
Yeah, people are coming with
On
buses.
our Wednesday.
Guys are
You
coming with
planned for
buses.
150 people.
Now, we still not told to open. We had to change everything. They said,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
let's give an estimate of 550.
500.
500, 550.
Yeah.
The good thing is people who cook there, those guys cook.
Foodies.
Wait, where are 700 people coming from?
That's a good question. Because even for us, we were seeing buses, but we didn't pay for
And
anyone's
we didn't pay
transport.
for anybody's transport.
Church was
Where?
full when she was
Who are
walking
they?
down.
When you watch the video, who are they?
We had friends.
Our parents,
friends.
Yeah.
relatives.
Ah.
Remember, he mentioned my side of the family is quite large.
Yeah.
So maybe for a bit of context. So from my mom's side, my mom has 5 siblings. But now her mom, my grandmother, has 13. And not all of them are there, but you see, even if they're not there, the children are there.
The children are there.
And my great-great-grandmother who is still alive. So there's that. Then my dad has 7 siblings. And those 7 siblings have their children.
Yeah.
And then some of them are my age, so even them, they have their children. Then when you come to his side of the family, his mom has 5 siblings. those 5 siblings have children.
My grandmother has her own.
His grandmother has her own siblings also. With their children. And then now you're counting also from both sides now of my families. My grandparents have their siblings who have their children. So that's how they...
This gets very strong.
We understand the 700.
They multiplied it.
We understand the 700.
I have a gift for your teen daughter. Sorry to interrupt the conversation. My name is Rawder Kidula, and I present to you this book for my beautiful teen girl. It's a gift challenging the teen girl to have godly values. It talks about many issues that they go through and inspires them to be better teens. See details on the screen of how you can get it. Thank you.
For people who look at young people like you who are enjoying marriage and thinking this thing doesn't work. How long have you been married now?
4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
People looking at you and saying this thing doesn't work, it's a scam. What is your message for young people, especially those who are scared of marriage?
You want to go first? Okay. There's a point that he mentioned that I really like. Marriage is work. Fact. Even you can agree. But it works on you first. I think that is the reality that people don't like to come to terms with. People don't like working on themselves. People don't like exposing their own weaknesses. It is very easy to expose somebody else's weaknesses. But when it comes to you, you feel... you feel attacked, kind of, and you also don't see beyond. You see, like when he was talking about when you're having a disagreement and most of the time we tend to attack the person and not the problem. The same thing comes to marriage. There are so many things about you that may not have been exposed during dating that are exposed more in marriage. But if you do not have that mindset of, here is something about me that I've either been running away from or I didn't know altogether, how am I going to deal with this? Or how should I deal with this? And if you do not see your partner as a person who can help you beyond that challenge, that is also what gets people into marriage. Again, people sometimes get into marriage for the wrong reasons. Because you think now, this is a husband who can provide for me. I'm not going to work anymore.
He
should provide. He should provide. He should even give me money for salon, which is good. But you shouldn't go demanding. You know, it's like an employer-employee kind of thing. If you go demanding to your employer will not be happy and you'll not have a cordial relationship. Not that I'm likening marriage to employer-employee, but this is a partnership. This is not your bank. Your husband is not your bank, your ATM. If he wants to give you from the goodness of his heart, well and good. But you demanding from him, and I know he'll talk about it a little bit, if someone demands something from you, it almost feels forced. When you're forced to do something, it doesn't really work out. So marriage shouldn't be scary, but get into it for the right reasons, at the right time. You know, we are told in Ecclesiastes there's a time for everything. There actually is a time for everything. Fact. And you shouldn't also get married because you're scared. God has you here at the palm of his hand. He knows everything about you. So just give yourself to him. It's not easy because in giving yourself, there are so many things about you also that you have to give away because you're not in control of yourself. But once you allow God to fill that space for you, that is what makes marriage easy. And then now continuously seeing your partner as your friend, your partner as a person who walks with you, a person who is there for you, a person who is of you and not against you. That also makes a world of a difference.
For me, learn to die to self. Learn to die to self. Another thing that I find for ourselves is for men, learn to build your relationship with your maker, with God, with Christ. May say Jesus, because people like to use God in very interesting ways. Learn to build your relationship with Jesus. The reason I say this, I'm not saying, one of the things I found as a challenge is we've had many couples, we work with a lot of couples who the lady is ahead spiritually. It's not a problem. But my issue comes in when the lady is trying to see, I can see what you carry. But what happens, it starts to turn into nagging.
And
unlike now with the other side, where if it's the man who has led already, what happens is that when he sees what his woman carries, it's easy to nurture that better than the other way around. So for me, with marriage, one of the things I've enjoyed about marriage is, I think it's in the book of Matthew, it speaks about how the two of you, the things you can ask together, and it will be given. Like, God is bound by the fact that if in unison you guys can agree, ask in his will, it shall be given. So can you imagine how much more can you enjoy in marriage? Yeah, I told you, blessings are opened when, even through sex, blessings are opened. So why do we, marriage may not be for everyone. Let's say that. Jesus speaks about different people, the eunuchs who choose, there's some who choose, there's some who are chosen, there's that beauty. And for them, they also have their place. But I do appreciate that many of us, there's a high chance either we are misaligned. Secondly, we think marriage is for you. So many times you're looking for the benefits before the one who gives them. So there needs to be, we're always thinking, I'm going to, of course now she's saying in terms of the benefits of being treated, etc. They do come. I enjoy treating my wife. But you see, it comes from a place of love, not from a place of demand. Yeah, I can't, even with what we are wearing, this is purely from, when sharing earlier, we spend time every year in December, we go pray together. And God will give us an actual vision, right? And through that, when you're praying, you'll see it and you'll say, this is the verse that will carry you. So this was for last year, call unto me. So last year was a lot of call unto me. And there was also one, Proverbs 3, 1-10, where God told us, if you follow from 1 to 10, there's the command, then the promise. The command, then the promise. So we had to walk in that. We have one for this year, which we've chosen to still walk in, so we don't wear it as much. But you realize at this point, if we could stop getting so distracted, right, by the things that are happening around us, and actually try and understand why you're here, then you will be able to go far. So I normally give 3 aspects for me. I call them the IPDs. So first, your identity, know who you are. And it's interesting that in Genesis 1-6, where we like to we like to speak about it a lot, how we're made in God's image and likeness, but you also have to realize the first thing God gave you was his identity. So that's why I don't want you to restrict her to a personality. Because she has her identity, but in him, I have my identity, but still in the same one. So at this point, you can imagine what marriage should do is that it creates alignment to the two of you. So the more you guys are growing in marriage, the more one you become. That's why there's some couples who look like each other eventually. So you start to find you guys are growing together because your identity is in the same. Then once you know your identity, there's no issue to find your purpose, why you're here. Because now that's God's work for you. But you already know who God is because you're in him. Then you can know your destiny, where you're going. So you're never in fear with, but then what are we? You see, even men who are asked that means they lack in identity.
When you are dating,
when a lady is, but then what are we? What are we?
And do you know how much it costs even for a woman to ask you that? Like, she's just confused.
It's true.
Wondering, what are we doing?
Exactly.
What are we doing? Why are we here?
Why are we here?
For me, by the way, there was no way she was asking me that. You have to be
never
sure.
Asked, from the beginning you knew.
Yes, she knew why we were here. And it was important to make that straight. Because I always used to search for dating in the Bible. For me, I would only find the closest was betrothed. That was married, betrothed. So I was just like, so this thing, we need to be intentional. We've been mixing too much with too many people. So by the time you get into marriage, unfortunately, many of us are bringing baggage of ourselves, the people we interacted with, the people we got with, and then you're bringing it for this person to be your healer. Very dangerous.
I've had men saying, I just want a woman who will be my peace.
No, your peace is in Christ.
And that peace together.
But remember, if you guys are thinking the same, Proverbs 4 tells us to think of certain things. But then it says, once you think of whatever is pure, whatever is this, you'll find then the God of peace. So we know that peace you're looking for, you'll be found.
I'd like to know, in these 4 years of marriage, what are some of your highlights? What are some of the moments and seasons you've gone through and you're like, wow, this is marriage?
Do you want to start?
No, start it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like the way she confirms.
Yeah, I have to confirm.
Ladies, watch.
I tell people,
Watch.
this woman, if there's someone who taught me even true submission, is
Yeah.
her. Yes. Like I can't.
Me, I'm shocked by myself.
I told some people, because when I'm teaching, I say, hey, but hey guys, you want to tempt me and have a woman who makes me feel like a king?
Yeah.
You're joking. Yeah. Every time I come in, man, there's just something that I don't know why it does that for me, but the idea of her waiting for me at the door, it
She
just
waits for you at the door.
it kills me.
wait
It
for you at the
finishes
door.
me
Every day.
every time. If I'm not coming with her,
Yeah.
and if I'm coming before, I'll just come and open
Explain.
for her.
Explain to me.
Yeah.
You find her standing.
No. So I'll just ring the bell. There's an alert that this person has come.
Yeah.
So now she will
No,
just
the way
come.
you open the door,
There's some people who open and they just go their own separate ways. Like they
Yeah.
just go and say, welcome. And then they just go and they go to
Yeah.
it.
Some don't even
It's
say welcome.
open.
Yeah, it's open. Open the, yeah.
I think it's just God. No. I've always done it from the beginning, though.
Man, from the beginning. Yeah.
I think it's just God.
From the
Like,
beginning.
From the
Yes, from the
beginning.
beginning. Like
Yeah.
from our first year in marriage. Even when I was
Wow.
pregnant, because we have a baby.
Yeah.
Even now
I
with
wanted
our
to
baby.
talk about babies. That
Yeah,
a
so
highlight.
we'll get there. So I don't know. It feels nice to receive him back home. How are you? How's your
Feminists
day?
will be very mad at you.
You see, this is a shock. They don't understand love.
Please tell them because I'm not
understand
one
love.
of them.
But also, they don't understand feminism. They misinterpret it. If you look at the history of feminism is actually for you.
Yes.
It works for you. But the way people interpret it is my rights kind
My
of thing. And it's
rights.
not bad to know your rights, but also have the right context and be mature about it.
Yeah.
So that also you don't go enforcing your rights
Oh.
on somebody. Or
I know.
misconceiving a situation that shouldn't be. So it's good to be a feminist, but have the right context.
Context.
Yeah, and also good to receive your husband. Like,
Receive your
men.
husband. Hey, Jackson. Hey, you're going to see a new woman.
So yeah, I just opened the door for him. So he finds me there standing. Hi, welcome home.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does
That's your
that do
highlight.
to you?
Yeah, makes me feel seen. You know, the beauty about that is you don't have to look for attention outside from the other world.
No, yeah.
You don't have to. One of the things people don't know, and I know I keep on using, but it's actually a weapon of warfare again. Yeah, I mean, there could be. Proverbs warns us a lot of the adulteress.
Yes, the other woman.
Yeah. So people don't appreciate how making you consistently feel seen. It means that if you're seen in your home, be a king first in your home before the world.
Yep.
You will shine. It's always, when you receive power, it's to minister first home.
Yeah,
Before you go to the other parts of the
your
world.
origin.
Yes. So for me, when that happens, this woman is blessing me with power.
Yeah.
Because that means that there are things we can grow to become, and vice versa, because I can't grow alone. I can't. There is
If he
no
grows,
way.
I have to.
Yeah.
There's a time my wife was spending quite a bit, but not on a lot. It wasn't a lot of money. It was just a lot of things.
A lot of things.
Yes.
Things here
So
and there.
she comes home, she's excited. Oh, I bought a new shoe. I'm like, but you have like 5 others.
Yeah.
You know, so she started buying a lot of things. And the only thing I remember that kept me silent was when she bought a hoodie for me, which I love, by the way.
And
So-
I've never seen it again to date.
Pardon?
I've never seen anything like it.
Oh, like that. Yeah. Or you're thinking, you know,
I
just
think
look at
you've never
it.
put it
I threw
on.
it.
No. It's still there. It's
a
still
very
in very
beautiful
good
hoodie.
condition. He takes care of it.
Yeah, I really do. So
Yeah.
when that happened, one day I had to sit her down and said, if you're going to teach our kids anything, financial literacy should not be taught in school.
Yes.
Should be at home.
At home.
So I created a whole PowerPoint, sat
He
my
showed
wife
me a
down,
whole pack. I took notes.
and I said,
I was a student.
this
For
is how
1 hour.
you have to be very
Just
careful with your
1 hour.
money. Yes, be a good steward. And we went through it. And I like, you see, one of the things we agreed in dating, because you asked us what would we do different in dating. I believe because our minds are already fixated to marriage, a lot of things were being built towards that.
For marriage.
So I'd always tell her, if I correct you, yeah, it is not from
You're
a
not
place
the
of
problem.
attacking you.
Yeah.
Always know we're making each other better. So I always wanted her, and I like this about her. When if I've done something wrong to her, she will tell me. Man, it warms my heart more, even if the thing seems petty, because you see, she's now blocking anything from the enemy, so that he doesn't have a foothold.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, babe, I didn't like how you handled this, or I don't like how you left it. It could be something small, by the way, and you'll be like, that was a problem. But remember, instead of reacting, respond and realize, she's protecting our home that way. So you move on and you say, you know what, I'm so glad you told me, I'll not do that again.
Yeah.
Now you start to learn. This is one way. If I continue doing this again, I'm just irritating her. No matter how small it looks, remember, you want your home to be guarded, protected.
Yeah.
You watch over your home, the two of you. So the reason why we have to learn even financial literacy together is because when our baby is growing, there are times if I'm not around, let's say I've traveled or the likes, the same mindset both of you carry, she can teach this child. So I like a story of a gentleman called Jonathan Edwards. He was a Puritan preacher. I don't know if you've heard of him. You look like you're smiling. Max Jukes. So you see, one of the things I like about Jonathan Edwards is he says he used to bless his 11 children every time he was home. But the reason why all their children were so great was because of them, Mrs. Jukes.
Yeah.
So you see, they had unison here. They might not think the same, but they think alike.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's why we don't mind disagreement. Actually, I bless it.
How do you resolve
sharpened us.
conflict?
Yeah.
And when there's conflict, do you still go open the door?
Yes, I do.
Smiling.
Smiling.
The thing is, you have to understand our dynamic. You have to understand our dynamic.
Yes.
We don't allow conflict to simmer.
Or to brew.
Yeah.
To brew.
Stay.
Like it doesn't stay.
It's dealt with.
So there is no nil by mouth here.
Azi.
Oh, hey.
Why?
No.
The famous Pastor Doc would say that it's witchcraft.
Yeah, he said it's witchcraft.
Yeah.
But also and there's a point that he says a lot, the more, he's actually said it, you can think alike, you don't have to exactly think the same. It's important because if, conflict basically is just difference of ideas, but miscommunicated the wrong way. That's actually what conflict is. And the problem with miscommunication is, you, Rodah, you're upset, me, I'm upset.
Yeah.
Let us keep quiet. Have we solved the problem?
No.
Exactly.
I'm waiting for him to talk first.
Why can't
He
you
is
talk
waiting
first?
for me to talk first.
But now,
One
this
day, 2 days,
2 days, 3 days, a week, 4, 5, a month, a whole year. What are we doing? We're not.
How
we're just,
old are we?
Not even how old are we? What are we doing?
Yeah.
Honestly, we are not solving the problem. We are just allowing the problem to grow more.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is, when you finally reach breaking point, you don't even know what the original problem is, because there are so many things in between here. There are so many feelings hurt. There are so many words that could have been avoided if you just. That thing he said, die to self.
Yeah.
Your pride must die.
You must die.
It must die, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
It has to die. And most of the time, I used to hear a lot in marriage. The wife is the one who has to calm down first.
Yes.
Imagine even the husband can calm down. For the
calm
sake
down.
of your union.
Yeah.
You have to. That thing called pride. It has to die.
It's like the woman is the one who goes to say sorry.
He says sorry also, and doesn't make him any less of a man about it. I say
man,
sorry.
You have to say sorry.
You have to say sorry.
You have to guard your family.
Pride has to die. That thing called pride. It has to die.
You know the thing is, what people don't appreciate, even if she's wrong, I can also I can apologize first, not because of what she did wrong, but because of how I made her feel based on maybe how I behaved to that. So you have to be mature about, what do you really want? You want a peaceful home. You want a home where the presence of God resides.
Yes.
So you also realize that's the same home you're bringing your children in, right? Most of the issues we're having with people, even in school for me, because I'm in that space, is childhood trauma, right? And many of them are caused by home issues. So why continue the pattern when you can break it? So every time you go to church, I know we break patterns, but sometimes break behavior. Break behavior. Break habits.
Break habits.
Because it gets to a point where you sit down and you say, but what do we really want? We want unity, because there's always a blessing being commanded in unity.
Exactly.
So even in conflict, you can agree. You can agree. It's putting yourself aside and seeing far. I always pray. I know I wear glasses, but I think I have greater vision than others. Yes. They might have better sights. But I have greater vision. Because you'll sit down and say, and same thing for her. She'll see, I like how sometimes if she's done something wrong, and she knows, she will pull me aside. Because now you become one. You become one, so you can detect very quickly. I've done something wrong here.
Even if it's saying something that I shouldn't have said.
You will say, hey babe, I'm sorry.
Okay?
I'm sorry for what I did there. I'm like, thank you so much. I'm like, and I know we can sort it very quickly, even in the midst of our people. They'll never know you're fighting. They'll never know.
Don't know you're disagreeing.
They'll actually think you're flirting with each other. Thank you, babe.
Maybe I'm trying to apologize here. I think it's flirting me. I'm apologizing. But that's the best way to deal with conflict. Address it immediately. Don't allow things to escalate. And at the end of it all, again, that alignment is important because you'll get to see, you'll feed off of each other's energy, if I can call it that way. If he's mature, me, I can't be mature. We have to be the same level.
Yes.
If we are both immature, that's a problem. But if we are both mature, that's good. But if you see, if he's mature about something, he wants to solve it. Me, I want to stay angry. Why? I'm not helping the situation. So see, even me, I'll be forced to, again, working on yourself. So it comes out very many ways. More than one.
Let me also, based on the question you asked on highlights. So one of my highlights has been doing ministry with her. So there was a time this year, actually, February 15th, we had two ministration events. One was actually by Pastor Docs. That's Singles at the City.
Singles at the City.
Very powerful. We really enjoyed that. But we're panelists. Then the second one, just after that, we went to another one. Now that was a city in Parklands. And I remember, this is so powerful, but I remember when we were getting in, it was a dinners. It was a Valentine's dinner for young people. And we could see guys were everywhere, nowhere, if that makes sense. They were excited. We understand young people. So, but something was off in the atmosphere. And I remember telling her, babe, we must change this atmosphere. Now, you see, if you didn't have this with your person, it's a problem.
It's a problem.
So at this point, I was the one teaching. But after the teaching, we had ministration. We were amazed with people with their fantastic dresses. We have a picture. I don't know if we'll send it to you. But with their beautiful dresses and suits, we found guys coming in front, and as I would pray, and she would hold them as the Spirit does whatever He does, and you'd see that, as you're praying for people, we're seeing people's lives being changed, and it blesses us. And secondly, we also told our nanny, you have to know, every time you give us a chance to God, because she's so graceful with us. Every time that happens, I tell her, there's no way any blessing stops with us. It must bless you.
It has to come to you.
Yes, it must.
I don't understand the nanny part.
So you see, if right now what you're doing now, let's say you have children at home.
Yes.
What would give you peace leaving them there?
Your son. The young
what would leave, if you're who gives you peace at home? How can you leave someone that you don't know?
Having someone that I can trust.
That you can trust.
Who also loves the baby.
Exactly. So what I liked about our nanny is how much he's gotten into. I don't know if people don't talk about this, but in marriage it's important to have a nanny who is also in line with you people.
Me, I learned to pray.
You pray.
You pray for them.
You do.
And you pray with them also.
So we pray with them, and we pray with ours at least. We had one actually on Monday, a few days ago, because
a prayer day.
You see, we're telling her a prayer. We have prayer days at home. We have prayer days at home. Prayer nights, etc. So we're saying, if me and my wife here can actually go and minister, and we can leave our dear young one with her, knowing that everything is fine.
Yes.
You know, you're giving us a chance to do God's work without any. You've cleared our mind. So that means every kind of blessing, even you have to know Moses would not have survived if it was not for those midwives. You midwifed a whole generation into being saved. So they were not forgotten as well. They were blessed. And the same thing for her. If poor and what was that one? Shipra. Because they were blessed, even you must be blessed in our house. You must. So even then, I remember when she was turning a certain year last year, we were praying at home for her. And it was just the three of us together, the young one. And I remember when we were praying, she dedicated her life to Christ. And then God said that's not enough. She was baptized by the Holy Ghost. And this was just the three of us. And then from there, of course, we now had to shower her with gifts. Because we said, you have blessed us more than you know.
We have to bless
my second highlight was when we were invited by a friend. I'll just mention two or three, maybe including our baby, because that was a story. The second highlight was whether a friend of ours had invited us last year, November. And
November.
it was November. And her mom had been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And she said, I want us to come. Can you guys come and pray? As a couple for us. And she invited all her family, her siblings, their children. And I like when Christians are in unity, because you got also you now know what the kingdom of God suffereth violence. Yes, we took it by force. And I remember we went there, and it's so beautiful because my wife is so blessed with a lovely voice. So I need her to sing to change. She removes a sound, and when that happens, for me, I'll be teaching or praying, and that really helps. And what happens is that as that was happening, we went there only twice. So the first time, people are skeptical. You're not a pastor. You're not. Who are you?
You're not somewhere in the church ranks. So you're coming to pray.
But thank God for godly friends as well. We really honor these friends of ours. And as we were spending time in prayer, a lot of things happened. We finished that first prayer. The second one, we went there after a week. So the second one, she was just meant to go for a PET scan a few days after, or I think a day after that. So the idea was to pray before that PET scan. So here we are, and we start again, and we were so blessed. Angelic visitation, very beautiful. But as the mother then went, after that prayer session, she went a few days later, went for her PET scan, and they can't see a thing. And we said, goodness God.
The cancer had cleared.
The cancer had cleared. Stage 4. Actually, we didn't know it was stage 4. She came to pray with us on Monday. And she said, just know, the most important thing you mentioned is it's also stage 4. So that you know how much God did. Yes, how much God did. So that for me, ministering with my wife, beautiful. Then the pregnancy journey.
Which year did you get pregnant?
2023.
Second year in marriage.
Yes.
Yes.
Was that planned?
So that's a story also. There are so many layers.
We have the problem with us. We have so many layers. Was it planned though?
So I'll start, then she will continue.
Yes, please.
So my wife had endometriosis. Okay. Yes.
You're familiar with that?
Yes.
Very familiar.
Jambi. And yes.
Exactly.
And I remember the mom telling me sometime again. She's talked. This was before, I think, marriage. Before we did our wedding.
We were still dating.
She asked me why I'd already started the process, and she told me, "Baby, you know Sheila has endo." I said yes. Giving birth is a problem.
One of the hospital visits.
Yes. Like when she had gone to the gyna, this can be an issue in terms of giving birth. I laughed, and then I said, our God. Our God gives children.
So you had this information before even marriage?
I mean, all the time she's been admitted, I was there. I met her father the first time in hospital.
You've seen my face, the way the society already stigmatizes people.
Yes.
Like the first person I've thought about is Jambi. I've not thought about someone who recovered.
Yes.
He used to take me to hospital.
But I told her in the first year of marriage, we prayed over this thing. I told God, this is a temple of the Holy Ghost. Sickness cannot dwell. It cannot dwell. So as we were confessing the second year, you say, okay, let's now. So she was taking some medication.
Just to manage the condition.
So to take that medication prevents also any is it ovulation? No, she's the biology zero. Those times I fail.
All the things.
So she there were things that had prevented her regulation. And I remember when we went to the doctor, we said now we can take it, we're ready. So that's why we were saying it could seem planned in that sense. So she was a bit worried because one, you don't know how.
A bit.
A lot.
And this is where the man, you must protect your wife, assure her. Because at this point she's not been like this for a very long time, away from the medication. So you don't know will the pain come back, will I actually get a child? And then we agreed we're not going to be trying for children.
This time
we will still enjoy our sex. Without trying to think,
thinking this one is for
this is the one.
Are you ovulating?
Yes.
Are you this today? Circle the date.
We didn't do that.
Mark your calendar.
The idea was let's enjoy our marriage.
If it happens,
Yes. So
it happens.
How easy was that?
What?
Just having sex without thinking of a baby.
I was first disturbed. I was so disturbed because now, on one hand, I'm thinking, can't you understand the implication of this thing? Like, if this does not happen, that's it. But on the other hand, I was still trying to grow my faith at that point. So he to date, he still really challenges me a lot spiritually. So he's there praying. And then me, I'm like, hey, Kwani, I can't pray for myself. And me, I started praying. So when we go to the doctor and he withdraws the medication, so I told him after that visit, I was like, this is it. Like, now my menses will come back, the pain will come back. So me and I start getting worried because this is what I'm used to. So when he says we won't try, I was like, okay, I understand that. But I also remember we had the same discussion with the doctor. He said one of the things that can quote unquote chase away the pregnancy, for lack of a better word, is anxiety, stress. You know, where there's anxiety and stress, the child cannot come. But also in sex, if you either parties are stressed, like you have a lot of things in your mind, also your libido goes low. Extremely. And that is something I think that people don't understand. When you're having sex, you have to have a clear mind. Stop thinking about children and school fees. That's not the time and the place for it. First set aside. So anyway, so when he says we are not trying anymore, if the child comes as we enjoy our marriage, well and good. If it doesn't, he told me, remember that time, 2016, nothing like divorce, nothing like separation. We are in it for the long haul.
We're already a family.
And we're already a family.
Already married.
Yes. But now you see the realization of most people to date still think a family involves children. Not knowing that must involve children. Not knowing that you and your husband or you and your wife are already a complete family. Every other thing is an additional blessing. So getting to walk in that truth, because for me that had to become truth for me, was challenging because I had to kick that thought out. But also at the same time it was freeing, it was refreshing because I know my husband is not going anywhere. Even if, you know how sometimes people unfortunately can be negative and naysayers and all those things, I know he'll still defend me. And I know our God will still defend us. And he'll not put us to shame.
I'm thinking of so many things. I'm thinking you are 2 years in marriage.
Yes.
You go to church.
We still go to church.
And we are looking at you.
Very well. And I will look at you also.
Women of the church are asking, how do you maneuver that societal did you have any pressure?
We did. We actually did have that pressure. I think both of us in equal measure, I don't want to say me more than him or vice versa. But somehow, by the grace of God, we had an answer for people. I can't remember what the answer was. No, we were not rude. We tried. We really tried.
But sometimes you just find yourself like they trigger something.
It can be very triggering, especially because, people don't understand the ins and outs. The intricate ins and outs. So people will just think, you're refusing to get a child.
What are you waiting
for? You're not getting any younger. Is there a problem? So people don't understand that there could be a challenge for some people, or there are some people who just don't want to. People just want to enjoy their marriage first, enjoy, and then get kids. So for us, somehow we'd still have an answer for them, a good, acceptable answer. But when we conceived, I didn't even know I conceived, by the way. Remember, I've been on medication for a while. So my cycle has not yet regularized. So it came back, obviously. And it's a whole painful time, which we went through. But eventually it ended. So now I'm expecting my period again. Now I even have a calendar. I deleted the calendar for a period a long time ago. So now I had to get it back so that I also get to know my consistency. But not because of dates or anything. I just wanted to know. Because now I'd not been getting my menses for a while. So now, this one day, I just decided curiously just to check the calendar. I saw I'm 3 days late. Like, okay, so I've started now getting irregular menses again. So should I... Now I was trying to think like, now should I go see a doctor? But now, at that point, now I got busy, I forgot. So I skipped the first one. And then the second one I skipped. So now I'm planning for maybe a doctor's visit. But now I'm chatting with my mom. And she asked me, by the way, I don't remember you telling me you have cramps. Could you be pregnant? I was like, no, you're just pregnant. Me? No, no, not now. I don't think so.
Yeah.
So she told me to test. I postponed it for 2 weeks. So eventually I tested and I saw positive. I was like, lies. So we bought another test. I saw another positive. We were going to a graduation, so we were going with her, and he was already there. So I'm so excited. I go tell him in the graduation. So now we are, okay, this is happening. We are pregnant. So we decide to go see a doctor a week later. We do the scan. I'm told I'm 11 weeks. I didn't know. But then...
Me knew.
He knew, but me, I'm still doubting.
Wait, there's no morning sickness, no weird, no nose.
Hold on. I did not get a pregnancy nose, thank God. That was a prayer item. I don't want my nose to be from here to here. And disrespect to all women.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, so now after we found out, now it's confirmed, now the morning sickness starts. Hey, he had a certain perfume he had to stop using. He had the lotion he had to stop using. I had to change my lotion I don't know how many times.
And to Aramis.
He started using Aramis because I could not stand that thing. Hey, there's a certain body oil that I could smell from a mile away. I started using it this year.
Yeah.
That thing traumatized me because I would smell it even in the matatu going to work, and then I just puke. I puked every day until I think 19 weeks. That's when I stopped. The morning sickness ended. I had food aversions. It was a trip. It was everything. But then now my second trimester was graceful. It was all good.
Yeah.
Now third trimester kicks in. The only thing that became uncomfortable is sleep. My sleep went in third trimester. Maybe it's in preparation for now how you'll be waking up, changing the baby, all those things. So that's how I chose to look at it. And now he would also feel wuye for me because now I'm not sleeping well and I'm visibly uncomfortable. But our third trimester came. Now the baby is here. We did shopping together. So excited. And now you're seeing the bump growing. We even did our maternity shoot 2 weeks to my due date. So it was...
And we had a prayer shower.
And we had a prayer shower. We didn't do a baby shower.
So what is a prayer shower?
A prayer shower is when... Okay, for us, it's both our parents. So my mom, his mom. My dad was not around at that time. He was at work. And a friend of ours, the same friend who we prayed for the mom. And who else? And our sisters. Yeah. And our sisters.
The idea of prayer shower is to really pray over this child.
You shower the baby with prayers.
With prayers.
Like it's intentionally 3-4 hour prayers for this, the child, the parents, what they meant to grow into, etc. What you're ready for. Remember, I think looking back at this, something that maybe she didn't say is it was at our first attempt at sex that the baby came. Yeah, just shoot
after I stopped.
Inside.
After I stopped the medication.
After the medication.
After my menses came.
Yeah.
We conceived.
So the beauty for us is here is God in the process. And for us, our focus is not to become good parents, but become good us. Like be a good Sheila, be a good. They are going to model that. They're going to pick that up. So don't be so stressed on, am I doing this right? Am I just...
That's really powerful.
Just work on
you. We are sometimes focused on, I want to be a good mother. But if I'm just a good Christian, or a good human, a good Rodah, as you say.
Be a good Rodah
I
first,
will automatically...
Yes, you'll grow into.
Because they will pick that, they will pour into that. The first word for our baby was amen. She noticed that we pray a lot. Yeah, she's like, hey, her best is the grace.
Amen was her first word.
It was her first word.
Amen.
She waited for us the grace. She looked, because she knows.
Right.
And she
say apple. Said apple.
And she knows when we are praying. She sleeps when we are praying. The number of times he would pray over us, over me when I was still pregnant, especially now when I started showing more. Very many.
Let me tell you, you impart on that child because for her now, up to date, if I play for her, I don't know, this deep spiritual songs, you know, Theophila Sunday, she'll switch off. That's where her focus will be because that's what she grew up listening to from the time of the womb to. That's how I used to soothe her to sleep. Yeah, so at that point, you appreciate how. I think the pregnancy, seeing that I already knew she was going to get. Actually, we already knew prophetically a few months before in one of the events held called Praise Atmosphere by Evelyn
Wanjiru.
Yeah, there was a lady who had come from Ghana. She was praying over people's. I mean, we already knew our baby is coming. At least for me, I knew.
We just didn't know when.
So when they were coming to tell me at the graduation, I don't think they liked my reaction because it was more.
No, I didn't like it.
Yeah, it was like.
You're not excited.
Yeah, it was for me. It was like.
Who is there? Oh
I
my
know.
God.
We're pregnant. I'm like, I know. Yeah.
We're supposed to fall.
I know. Yeah, I'm Nigerian.
And fall down.
But
anyway, I
didn't take it so personally.
I'd known, and she knows who I am. You know, in that angle. So I think it was. Now I'd already started thinking of fatherhood, you know. So I'm like, how is fatherhood? I'm like, I already thought about this way before. Yeah, because you had been put. God had put it in your mind when He's going to make you a parent or a dad. Yeah.
Delivery? How was it?
That is a story now.
You were there?
Yes.
Okay, you tell us. I love it when the man.
Do you know?
When the man.
To date, I have some very many gaps. In terms of, you see, hey, that period can be really.
Yes.
So the people that I love telling this story are him and my mother.
Yeah.
Because they were both there. So
please.
So we're not so. She's past her expected due date.
Yeah.
And we're now thinking, this is the first time in Nanny, all that stuff. So I take her to hospital, Rodah Kangahi. And they check, they realize she's not dilated yet. And the centimeters are, I think, 0.5. Yeah. So, and we're past EDD, so we're just thinking,
0.5.
Yeah.
Going to 10.
Yeah, imagine. So we're here and...
Kwanza, we are being told, your contractions are there, but they're not strong enough.
Yeah.
So do you want the option of going home to wait?
Yeah.
Or do we induce you?
Yeah.
We agreed before we left home. If you go to hospital, there's no way we can go and then come back. Let's just
go and come back with a baby.
With a baby.
Yeah. So now we're there. She's been induced. She's been induced now. Some serious amount of pains are kicking in. We've been left in the hospital. I'm thinking we are both asleep. Yeah, so me, I'm sleeping in some sofa of some set. I don't know how to describe that thing. And I was sleeping on the chair.
Yeah.
And she was sleeping on the bed. And at around 2 a.m., I wake up. She had woken up earlier, but at 2 a.m., I woke up. And I'm seeing someone walking in the dark in pain. So I'm just like, why did you wake me up?
But in my defense, I wanted him to sleep.
Yeah.
Because he would not get another chance.
Yeah, but I was like,
so I wanted him to
to rest now.
To rest.
Yes,
so at this point,
you're just a good woman.
Yeah.
You wake up, we cry together. Why are you sleeping?
I wanted him to rest because he won't sleep again.
Oh yeah.
So we started working with her. We had been taught very well in the Lamas classes. So here we are, walking through with her the whole hospital, just trying to keep this pain. But now it's getting very serious. So at around 4, we have to now be rushed into theater or waiting room. I don't remember that room was. Delivery room of some sort. So she's here and she's telling me, I need to use the washroom. But we've been taught the many times she'll feel that way.
Yep.
But she's like, no, I know this is the real thing. This, I want to actually use the washroom. I tell the nurses she wants to use the washroom. Like, no, they usually feel that. I'm like, no. My wife has said she wants to use
specific.
The washroom.
I wanted to go.
She knew her body. So we take her, we finish that, we come.
The baby didn't drop in the toilet.
So pain is serious now. Very serious. They're seeing the contractions are now one who should be already giving birth. But when they check, she's still 1 now.
2.
Yes.
No, this
2.
one is 2.
Yes. So my wife now holds my hand. We're left alone and she tells me, babe, please pray. So we did a very simple short prayer. Lord, open this thing now. I hear crack. Yes. I'm like, what is this?
I actually felt like something.
I had crack. I was like, what is this? She shot all the way. I think now you are 7 or something.
Wow.
8 actually.
From 2 to 8.
2 to 8.
Yes.
In like 5 minutes.
So then I'm thinking, God, you're working.
Yes.
So I call this guy, I'm like, hey, come check now. We have prayed. So they check it, like, hey, we need to rush her very quickly.
fast.
So I enter, and all that stuff is happening. I'm inside. I call the mom. The mom is a nurse. So I call her. I'm like, hey, things are happening now. So mom was not too far off. So she came in. As all this thing is happening, pushing, we start to realize. For me, I don't know what's happening. I'm just saying, push, baby, it's fine. You're there. I'm encouraging her. But then, at that point, we see oxygen levels are going down in the baby. Apparently, when the water burst, the cord went around her neck and it was
Her heart rate dropped.
Yes.
And her oxygen dropped.
So I see the doctor's face. I asked him, what's the problem?
Yeah.
This time, you don't play around. The guy's like, no, nothing. But you need to rush her immediately. So she's rushed out. And I'm being told to sign a consent form. Now, for our baby, she was born on 28th of February, but in my mind, it was 29th of February. So I write there, today is 29th. He's like, no, today is 28th. I'm like, no, today is 29th. I write 29th. He's like, no, that's the wrong date. You see how we're debating over dates?
Yeah.
And my wife has been wheeled, so I don't even know where she is. There, I'm in slippers. So I see, once we wrote the right date, the guy runs. I followed him.
Yeah.
So as I'm following him, we've gone down the stairs and he has to explain to the guards, this guy is following me, so let him go, because where we were using was only for doctors only.
Yeah.
So I go through, I think I left my slippers somewhere, because now at this point, I'm like, where is my wife?
Yeah.
So I get in, I tell them, I also want to be dressed in those things you guys are dressing people, surgical, I want to enter. They're like, what? I'm like, yes, I need to enter. So they said, fine, so I'm dressed. So I put all those things, and, then I walked. So as I was walking in, I was told you can't enter here.
Because it's an emergency.
Yes, wait into this room.
Yeah.
I think that for me was the hardest moment.
It was devastating.
Because I thought I'm losing my wife and our baby. And I remember this moment, you're in doubt and you're thinking, God,
Did
you not what we agreed?
yes. It's just like an Abraham Isaac thing. Yes. But now you start to remember the promise more than the situation. And you sit down and you remember what God showed you in dreams and other people.
Yeah.
And the thing is that you guys are meant to hold your baby. So we wait. Now I'm devastated. I'm there with the mom. Finally, we are told, the baby is out.
No.
But for me, it's a sad thing to say, but for me, I'm saying, where is my wife?
Yeah. The baby is out, yes.
Fine, but where is my wife? Because that was the first thing.
Yeah.
She needs to be fine. This is the person you've been with. So I'm like, I'm grateful that the baby is fine.
Yeah.
But I'm not raising this baby alone.
Yeah.
Yes. So eventually I see them wheeling her out. Like, mother is also fine. And I'm seeing she's knocked out. So she's no idea. Now I'm trying to process all these things. Baby is out, beautiful baby, and we're now trying to see how she's doing. I hadn't yet seen her, by the way, yet. So we wheeled the baby, but I'm seeing it's written Niku. Neonatal ICU.
Yeah.
So in my head I asked the mom, why are they in NICU? They're like, so she lies to me to keep me calm. She says, no, they just put babies there. Maybe it finished. It ran, these other things to carry baby ran out.
This was the only available. Then it was labeled NICU.
Yeah. So in my head I'm like, what? So I'm like, okay, fine. So she's wheeled to NICU. So I'm thinking, I've not seen my wife just yet, by the way. Baby's in NICU. Men, expenses. You start thinking of expenses.
Oh, yeah.
So wow, our insurance, will this cover this?
Yes.
So you start processing all these things. At this point, we went saw the baby. She's been wheeled back in, but she's asleep. She's knocked out. She's been moved to the next bed now. And she talked a bit there, but she doesn't remember what she said. Yeah, she just greeted people. We told her she's fine, baby is fine. We assured her. Then both my mothers are not there. So they told me, go home and rest. Yeah, get some sleep, shower, come back. Because I was really tired. So I remember driving home was the hardest, and you know where we live, so it was far. So I'm thinking, wait, I think that's the closest I knew I'd get an accident because I can't function that well.
Function.
So by the time I get home, I freshen up. It takes me like 3 hours. So I come back. She'll give that part of the story because there's something she'll have to say from there. So allow me to.
Yes,
what was happening in those times I was not around because I was being called vigorously, but me, I've knocked out. I can't hear my phone. Yes.
I didn't even know where my phone was. So I wake up.
Your phone,
now, first thing I do, I look at myself. Okay. First I load. Okay, where am I? I'm in the hospital. Okay. Then I look at myself. I was pregnant. I do like this. There's no baby here. Okay, so I've delivered. Then I touch the bandage. I was like, okay, there was a surgery. So where is my baby? Where is my husband? So I look around. I'm trying to see the call thing for the nurse. It's far. So I'm like, okay. Now I have to wait for somebody to just show up because now I can't get off the bed. I can't do it. So I feel helpless. But then fear. I start getting afraid. Did my baby make it? Am I okay? Is my husband okay? Because he's not there. I'm all alone in the room. So I get so afraid. I start crying because of fear. So a nurse finds me crying, like, Sheila, what is wrong? Like, no one has told me anything. Where is my mom? Where is my husband? Where is my baby? So I tell her, can you please call my mom? So she says, okay, give me a minute. So she goes. So I get upset. Where is this minute? And then now there's a wall clock there, but the time is wrong. So I'm wondering, I don't even know what time it is. I don't know anything. Nobody has told me anything. So another nurse comes back. Like, Sheila, how are you? Me saying I'm not okay. I don't know about my baby. I don't know about my husband. Where am I? What is happening? No one has told me anything. So I convinced her to let me call my mom. So I call mom, I cry. Then I tell her, you come. Where are you? Okay, give me a minute. No, she's not even telling me where she is. Okay, is my baby okay? Have you seen the baby? Are you sure? I said yes. Okay. And Roger, where is he? He's gone home, but he's coming back. Where has he gone? Why have you people left me alone? So I get upset. But remember, I'm afraid. So eventually, she shows up. So I first cry. Then she shows me a picture. And I said, no, me, I want to see her for myself. We get you a wheelchair. I said, me, I'll even walk there. Me, I just want to see my baby. I want to confirm with my own 2 eyes. So we walk to Niku. Right, I'm not even feeling pain. Me, I first want to confirm that my baby is there. So I see my baby and then I cry. Oh my God,
okay, I cried. Now why are we crying?
Relief. Relief that these people are not lying to me. I thought they were trying to manage my emotions. Because sometimes, you've also had stories, women going to delivery, they come out without a baby. I did not want that to be my case. And then I thought all these people are just lying. I was a doubting Thomas at that point. So I saw the baby, but I'm still upset. I'm still angry because they left me alone. Because now he said, I told them to go. They said they are going and I gave them permission, but me, I don't remember. Me, I'm remembering waking up alone. So when he comes, because he finds us there, me and my mom, and now another nurse there. So me, I'm very upset with him first. I'm angry. Like, why did you go? Why did you leave me? So I told him of much later, and I heavily apologized to date. I robbed us of that moment of we did it, we are parents. Me, I was in my emotions. I was angry. I was very, very angry. But anyway, I got over that. So the baby, we are here, the baby is there. I tried breastfeeding, she breastfeeds. She even opened her eyes. It's a girl. She even opened her eyes. She looked at me. Okay, I cried.
You cried a lot.
I cried a lot. And so that was the crazy day. Now all these stories, they came to tell me later. I remember being in pain. I remember the labor pain. But I also remember just before we went to theater, I remember feeling a sharp pain. And I was like, in my head, this is not okay. There's something wrong. So even I was being wheeled to theater, I remember the doctor saying, hey, now Sheila, unfortunately, we have to do emergency CS. Something was wrong, but you're okay. The baby is okay. We just have to get the baby out now. But me, I remember distinctly feeling the time I was supposed to push and the time going to theater, something went wrong there. Now the details is when now I got to know.
Yeah, later.
Yeah.
Wow. Then you became parents.
Yeah, but you're not seen as a father then. I think one of the things I was trying to do for men is when their wives deliver, I go and see the men. I go visit them, I go and ask them how they're doing.
Because there's so much focus on the attention on the mom.
The man wants attention.
You do, because you see what happens. At least you do. I mean,
you do.
You see,
I'm saying Jemo agreeing.
Yeah, because you're also a father.
You're also a new parent. You are not a father.
Yeah.
You don't have a scar.
What do you mean? So, I mean,
he will never forget the...
No, not that kind of attention. Not that kind of attention.
You want to be
thinking.
seen.
I appreciate where she's at. And I was happy. But you see what was happening? My issue was not with her.
Yeah.
So every time I'm with her, everyone else is circulating around them.
Yeah.
And so
be
here you're being, the time I was being pushed physically. Like
out.
everyone is coming around you. You found yourself
outside the door.
And you're wondering what's happening. Actually, the person who made me feel seen in I think my second day when she was there, because I used to go to work and then sleep in the hospital. So was a doctor, a guy who came.
Actually, the first day.
It was the first day, yeah?
It was the first day.
So he comes and then he says, "And Daddy, how are you?"
You cried?
No.
Missed an opportunity to cry.
No. If you want to cry for me, it's fine. But no, it's really touched me. And I remember, that for me was the most warm feeling I ever experienced. I didn't need everyone else to see it, but because one person saw it, and then for her, the beauty is that as much as she was healing, we always did this together. It was at the back of her mind that we are parents, not I am a parent.
Even when they would try push, like you see sometimes how, unfortunately, we don't fault hospitals because people have to learn.
Yeah.
So sometimes a doctor would come with his team or her team.
Yeah.
And then you'll find he's somewhere in the
corner.
Pushed in the corner. I tell them, no, my husband is here. He also has to hear what you guys are saying. You also have to consciously.
Sometimes I just talk.
Sometimes you just talk, you wonder who is this.
So what are you saying?
Tell me what you're telling her.
Yeah. What do you mean? Is there, because she's still healing. I mean, I'm the one who's functioning a bit.
He'll remember some of the things that are being
that
told
you forgot.
How should you bathe the baby? Because you're the one who's, so I would always also...
Talk to both.
Talk to both.
Oh, wow. Parenting. How are the first 2 months? Was it what you expected after baby?
Do you have an expectation? I think we're firstborns. Let me say that. So we're firstborns, and our sisters, the ones following us, are very far. Like they're more than 12 years. That's that
for
big.
him it's 12, for me it's 15.
Yes.
My daughter, she'll sit here.
So you can imagine there was a lot of... It's like we're co-parenting early.
We started co-parenting early. I think the only thing we didn't experience with our siblings is the pregnancy and the birth. The pregnancy and the birth, because that was our mom's. But every other thing, I think we were there. The bathing, changing diapers,
the sleepless
nights, hospital runs. Thankfully, with our child, with our baby, we've not had hospital visits. But with our sisters, we did the sleepless nights, the crying.
But
the types of
maybe let me add something as we end.
The types of
on that note is we made it a conscious decision to always work in our marriage on that, in this process, because a good marriage leads to a good parent. So you're first a husband before a father, you're first a wife before a mother. So your motherhood and your fatherhood journey feeds from your husbandry and your wife. And that meant we had to talk to each other, because there was a time I felt like I was almost losing her, because she's trying to also understand the body changes, etc. what is happening.
New roles, all these things.
So there are times you need to check in. By the way, how are you now? What is happening? And we'd have to have those intentional conversations. Because there are times you'd feel, we've not spoken. We are talking, but we've not spoken. Yes. So we needed to always do that quite a bit to awaken the fact that maybe there are some parts of us that we are now growing into that we had not. There are dimensions we've never grown into that we are growing into here. So we had to have a lot of talking. A lot of talking.
Hey, time. We need to end this, but I need to know in your experience what makes a marriage healthy. And if someone is getting married soon, what is this one piece of advice you would tell them? Maybe you can tell a lady excited about the wedding, what can you tell them about a marriage? And maybe you can now talk to the men.
You want me to start? Okay, so maybe I'll tie it with your last question of how our first 2 months were post-baby. The biggest thing that has worked for us over the years, from dating to marriage to this aspect of parenting, and it's still working for us, is communication and understanding your partner all through those seasons. When we first got our baby, like he said, I was on autopilot a lot. And that can also happen like when you become a new wife. You know, you're trying to understand. Now it is me, my home. I am the one making the decisions. I am the one who cooks dinner, irons clothes, all these things. There are so many things that are new to you now as a wife that you weren't particularly doing as a single lady, or whether you're living with your parents or not, or you have your own space. There are so many things that you have to transition to. So communicating your needs, and I wouldn't say your expectations, but your whatever is surrounding you at that time to your partner can help make a marriage work better. Already it is working because you're already married. It wouldn't have worked if you
not be married.
Exactly. So communicating all through those seasons can help not only him see you in that season, but also help you understand yourself better. As a new wife, you have all these expectations you're also setting on yourself. If you communicate that, it is easy for your partner to say, by the way, there's no pressure. We are just continuing our dating. We are extending our dating, but now instead of going away after a date, we are coming home together. Yeah, so communicating that for me. And secondly, having the maturity to understand, even if you're going through a rough patch, especially when you're going through a rough patch, everything comes to an end. Nothing lasts forever. But you also have to make it work and not see your partner as the enemy. He is not the cause of your disagreement. He is not the cause of your financial constraints or whatever it is. But allowing him to help you through that season can also work for your benefit. That for me is the two biggest takeaways.
I'll just give one. Mine would be fellowship with the Holy Spirit. And I say that because the fruit, love, joy, peace, that's all you need in marriage. So just fellowship with the Holy Spirit.
Then the fruit will
come in, and eventually what will happen is, if you look at the 9 that we always speak of, the 9 attributes of that fruit, you do appreciate that's all you need for marriage. You need love, you need joy, you need peace, you need to be patient, you need to be kind, you need to be faithfulness, you need to be gentle, you need to have self-control. So that's just about it.
Keep a record of wrong.
Yes.
Especially that. So with fellowship with the Spirit, the fruit is evident.
There's a lot, but I just want to say that.
As a married. If you keep a record of wrong, that's not love.
That's not love. Thank you so much, guys. I feel like Jemu has stopped us. We have not even started.
We can come back.
Please. And what do you do at work?
So every rock assembly has a married couple who leads the marriage ministry.
Yes.
We are that for Rock Rivers.
Oh, nice. You didn't mention that when you began.
Yes.
So thank you for doing that. We need more of you. Inspiring people and working with people as they get into marriage and in marriage. So may the Lord keep covering you and giving you wisdom and blessing your marriage and your family and your babies. I don't know if you're okay with the plural.
As the Lord leads, yes.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. I am so happy. I have learned a lot. I just feel like, We pause and digest this for a year. Yeah, so thank you too for watching. God bless you. If you've never subscribed to this channel, this is the time to do so. Yes, and thank you. I really appreciate. Bye.